What's going on, YouTube? I'm AGV King Raw, and this is AGV Webisodes. Today, I want to talk to y'all about Ynw Melly and him getting transferred into a new jail down here in Broward. So, I want to talk a little bit about how this situation is in Broward because I've been in it. So I know a lot of y'all have never been, probably don't even know what Broward County is. But when it comes to the Broward County jail system, it's a little bit different than everywhere else, from what I know, because I actually been there. So I want to talk to y'all about first February 19th, 2019. That's about 5 years ago, a little bit over, maybe a little bit over 5 years ago. That's how long Ynw melly been locked up. That's crazy. He turned himself in 5 years ago, went through a whole trial. Well, I don't know what I guess it was a mistrial. It came out to a mistrial or whatever, and then they want to try him again. So the man has been in jail for 5 years without even being labeled as guilty for anything. And I think that's borderline insanity, because it's like, yeah, you probably got like your see, the state has their form of proof. You have what you would call proof. Like, say if the proof was a bunch of oranges, you look at the paperwork and you think you got a bunch of oranges. So how, I don't understand how you thinking that you got a bunch of oranges keeps another person in jail for so long, especially with all the lawyers and all the money they got. That's crazy. It's like, you would think that a person having money or having these all of this stuff, it's like, or even a name for themselves, you would think that they would, like, you would at least have like house arrest or something like that. Like, you didn't even get found guilty, and they got you in there for 5 years. And I know, like, I know what a lot of people's gonna say. Oh, think about the families. I am thinking about the families, because even at the same time, if it was one of your kids that was in that situation, but they didn't have 100% of the facts, how you going, why would you sit there and sit them in there for that long? Imagine if that was your kid. Imagine if that was your kid, and the law and the court was wrong about what they thought. The oranges they had are actually apples, and it helps the case and not hurts it. Imagine that. And you've been in there for 5 years. So when you get out, do they give you a check? Do they give you your 5 years back? Not to mention, they what they're doing is trying to push for a death sentence, because they could have been tried Melly and Bortlen at the same time. But the only reason why they didn't do that is because they want the death sentence on Melly. Like, that's what they want. And I never knew people were so evil, tell you the truth. And these are like white people, like, that wear suits to work and got kids and give their daughters like oatmeal and applesauce and hey sweetie and dropping teenagers to school, but they got more money than our parents, and our parents are like teachers and lunch ladies and like regular workers. But it's like these people that's plotting on these kids, or these people that hand down these insane amounts of football numbers in Florida, not to mention the death sentence. You're talking about killing somebody. Like, you're talking about unaliving somebody. You're talking about like taking them. How could you even do that? I didn't know. I ain't even gonna lie. I didn't know that people were so. I didn't know humans, like, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. And it's like, the more you learn about life, it's like the higher you go up, the worse they are. And it's like, you'll be looking at people like you'll look at somebody with a authority type thing, like a doctor, or like a cop, or like a, not even a cop. It's just like a teacher, or like, I don't know. It's like the higher you go up, it's like the more they hide the needle between their hand that they want to stab you with. It's like, I don't know. It's like an easy E effect. It's like you around people and you're thinking, oh yeah, you can't. No, you should be fine because you're a teacher. You're this and that. No, nigga. Like, no, no, no. It's like, it be the higher you go up, the more that they're walking on eggshells and stuff like that. So as soon as they get the free chance, they want to do something crazy or do something that's not like whatever they've been doing for so long. And I didn't even know it was like that, because when you look at these situations, Melly been in jail for 5 years. These lawyers and these prosecutors been trying to hand down time or whatever the death sentence for him for 5 years. It's like, I get it if it was all facts, 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 and it's like, oh yeah, Slam, we got everything, but it's like you don't. So it's like, how is it that he not on like a house arrest or something? Like when he's actually contributing to society. I didn't think that people like that in that from that at that standard would still be treated like worse than people. That's crazy when you think about it. I don't know, but my point is that the reason why I'm making this video is that after 5 years, they're finally transferring Melly from the Broward main jail, and the Broward main jail is like the Broward main jail. The way the Broward main jail is you got one person that probably works the dorm. You got probably you got an upstairs and a downstairs. Like you got a downstairs and an upstairs tier. There's probably there's like 3 showers in the whole or 4 showers in the whole Broward main jail. It's like 30 people. It's like 15. It's like 15 rooms down bottom, and it's like 15 rooms down bottom, 15 rooms up top. But it's like a majority. All of the rooms are like doubled up. So it's like if it's 30 rooms, it's probably 60 people in there. Like, and that's Broward main jails. But once you go to like, so it's like piled up. But Melly being like on the murder floor, that's like the sixth floor or something like that. I'm pretty sure it's not like that. I'm pretty sure he is like in solitary confinement the majority of the time, which is like 23-1 or something like that. But he's like by himself a lot of the times. The difference is that at Paul Ryan, which is I think the I was there too, but I think the land of Paul Ryan is owned by Michael Jordan or something like that. I don't know. But I know Michael Jordan has something to do with Paul Ryan. What I'm saying is that Paul Ryan is a more with Paul Ryan, you get housed like the only reason why Melly would be on the sixth floor at the Broward main jail is because of his charges. You get what I'm saying? But if he didn't have those charges, he'll be like at the regular like thing with everybody else type thing. But Paul Ryan is more based on your charges. So wherever you whatever charges you got, you kind of get put into different places because of your charges. Or if you're like a Christian or something like that, you can go into the like Christian pod, and it's like it's still the same thing. You're still dealing with a whole bunch of people, except like y'all have church time, and like it's more a little bit more organized for people that actually want to like do their time and get out of there versus like niggas just and just want to fight all the time. It's like it's I don't know. It's two different. It's separate, but they also hold female inmates. But what I don't really understand is the fact that Melly has been locked up for 5 years. This is his second trial. And yeah, his lawyers have pushed for a speedy trial majority of times, like they do it a lot. But also they do things to push against the speedy trial, like file new claims or file new things. But it's like I don't know what's going to turn out in this Melly case. I think that the reason that they probably moved him to Paul Ryan is because they really, really, really feel like they got so much stuff that they don't that there's no point in keeping him at the Broward main jail because he's gonna go to prison. Like you only get shifted to Paul Ryan if you're going to prison. If you're being stored, it's like Broward main jail is like a refrigerator. It's like a refrigerator. So it's like everything has like an expiration date somewhat, right? So the jelly might be going bad in 2 months. The peanut butter might be going bad in a month, or anything short dated, kinda. Or if they have no idea, or if it's short dated, you in the Broward main jail a lot of the times. They're not going to transfer you somewhere else and then bring you back because it costs money to keep doing that. So Melly, I think they had him in the Broward main jail because they didn't know how it was gonna go. I think the only reason why they would transfer you to a Paul Ryan or one of them other jails is because it's either you're going to prison for sure, or you're gonna get either they don't know what's going on with your case, so they store you there. Like it's like a storage. Like the Paul Ryan is like a storage. So it's like a transitional spot. So you go to Paul Ryan when you go either go to prison, go um well, you ain't going to Paul Ryan if you go home. But you going to Paul Ryan. Well, like I just said, you ain't going to Paul Ryan if you going home. You going to Paul Ryan if they're gonna give you like you're gonna go to Paul Ryan if they say, okay, we can offer him mental classes in AAA or AAA or whatever you call that, like liquor classes. Like if they know what they're gonna do with you, type thing, you go to Paul Ryan so they can start that process of doing what they want to do with you. So it's either you're gonna be going to prison, so they have you sitting and they got somebody else coming to get you, or you're going to these classes like the older people that drink a lot or stuff like that, and then they have the classes there at the Paul Ryan, or you go to Paul Ryan when you have a trial and they don't know what's going on, so they sit you there over time. But a lot of the times it's not. You don't go to Paul Ryan if you going home. You get what I'm saying? Like if you're gonna go home, you'll stay in the refrigerator, which is the Broward main jail. So it's like the expiration date is soon. So it's like it's either they have no idea or it's soon. And then they'll be like, oh, okay, so the Broward main jail. But if you go to Paul Ryan, that means they have an idea of what's gonna happen. It's either you're gonna go to prison or you're gonna go to it's either you're gonna go to prison or you're gonna go to like get extradited to go somewhere else. Like if you're on a hold for Texas or a hold for California or New York or something like that, they'll 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 take you to Paul Ryan until they realize, oh, okay. And then once they realize that, then they'll bring you back to the Broward main jail, put you in a holding cell, and then like you'll be in that holding cell for a couple days until whoever is coming to get you. So that's how that works out. So when it comes to Ynw Melly, I think that they put him in Paul Ryan because they have somewhat of an idea on which way that trial is going to go. So if they, I think personally, it's not looking good for Melly, honestly. And I know any person that goes that been in like the county for 5 years and then they get transferred to a Paul Ryan. I've been in sales with people who've been in Broward County for 2-3 years over gun charges, right? I don't know what else they had going on because I hope they didn't tell me the truth about everything that got to do with their case. But the reality of things is, if the lawyers don't know, sometimes they'll sit you in Broward jail for 2-3 years, 4 years, like just to hold you there. But it's like if they take you to Paul Ryan, they kind of got an idea on where you're going and what's about to happen to you, like as an inmate. So I think with Ynw Melly, like I said, they could have been charged him in a joint thing with Bortlen, but they don't want to do that because they want the death penalty on Melly. I think with this whole situation of Bortlen being on the phone, Bortlen drawing out all the where the people were sitting, Bortlen like talking to the girlfriend and threatening the girlfriend. I think all of this built up more of a case for Broward County or for the lawyers to be like, oh yeah, we got more now. As to which before they didn't have all this information with the first trial. That's why they kept him at Broward County. So I'm thinking that the only reason why they took him to Paul Ryan is because they have more on the case. And I think what they're going to do with that is charge him like harder and really try to go for that death penalty. So I don't know how this is going to turn out. I'm wishing Ynw Melly the best because he's one of the best artists out of Florida. Uh, he made the Murder on My Mind song before this situation even happened. I don't know. What that tells me is that he was probably been thinking about, well, let me not even say that because I don't want to be a part of that. But I ain't even gonna lie. Sometimes you be looking at people and you be like, bruh, like you know what situation you in, and it's like you just don't you would never speak it because it's like, bruh, like you know what you want to do. But it's like you can't. I think Mally probably should have. I think he probably should have. I think shit. I can't say nothing because even if you threw it off and gave it to somebody else, that still be a RICO charge probably. And the way y'all boys talk like girls, y'all men these days, y'all these niggas act just like girls. Like y'all some city girls for real, bro. Like niggas talk too much. So it's like with all the conversation or all